It's good to see you again. This is the Forest Daughter, and I am back with the second journal in the series of Midwinter Fairytales, where the main digital artwork is by the ephemeral fox. Just absolutely stunning. So here we go again, just a quick flip through. I'm going to start with this long green tie that you can double wrap this way, like I had it with the bow, or crisscross to hold everything in your journal. Entirely hand stitched. I want to show you just some basic dimensions here. It's fairly standard. So this one is 6 wide, should be about 9 tall, yeah, and just under 3 inches for the spine. This is a floating spine, which means I have hand stitched each set of pages, called a signature, onto fabric and then glued the fabric on the edges only. So it's not glued down in the back and it's free floating. Then this little decorative fabric at the top is called a headband. It's to help keep you from seeing all the guts of the book back there. But go ahead and look. It's just a piece of Tyvek with my hole punch marks. Another piece of fabric down here, and you may be able to see the cardboard that I made this out of, which the best cardboard I have found for my journals, you're gonna laugh, is the Costco coffee pod boxes, like for your Keurig. The boxes are sturdy cardboard, not too thick, and they've been lined with a real heavy paper. Can you hear this? That's all right, dog. I'm not knocking. It's just sturdy. This image I call the lady. So this is the Midwinter Fairytale, the Lady journal. This has been painted with 2 coats of polyurethane so that the ribbon when tied won't rub off the image. On the back, we have the wolf in a pocket. This piece was wrapped with a real pretty edging material, and then the image is glued onto the front and back. This has space for your name, the date, maybe somebody you're journaling with. If you got 2 people buying journals, you can co-journal every Saturday at a coffee shop. Just a thought. And this comes off when you're actually journaling. Just set it aside, out of the way. I didn't want to decorate this. I could have, but I didn't. Look at this fabric. It's a super soft flannel-y fabric with orange-red winter houses with wreaths, kids in sleds, throwing snowballs, horse-drawn carriages. It's just fun, and it echoes the colors so lovely in the images. Now, I didn't want this book to stay just a winter journal, so it has several other designers in it, digital designers with summery feel, matching color schemed images, summery dreams, and also some that are just spring flowers on branches. Here is the actual floating spine material. It's a piece of upholstery fabric with a really neat paisley pattern in Christmas tones. So I'm just gonna start flipping through. If you know me, and I'm gonna say it every time I open a journal so you'll know what I'm aiming for, I want my journals to look like they have been wrapped in burlap or leather and hidden in a hollow tree deep in the woods, and you've stumbled across them. And to get that, I have used really heavy paper that I have tea-dyed myself and hand-torn every edge. Tea dyeing is simple. It's Louisiana tea, family tea bags, and boiling water in a big square flat pan. Let it cool a little, throw in a touch of baking soda, throw your paper in there, let it soak. Spread the paper out on a vinyl tablecloth outdoors if you're sunny and you're lucky it's not too windy. That's it. There's nothing fancy to it. It does take a whole day, maybe a day and a half to get everything dry. Stacks and stacks of tags. Now, I want to tell you a secret, and I mentioned it in the other journal as well. Take the tags out of the book if you like. This one's got a little owl charm. Write a favorite word like solitude, gratitude, courage, creativity, whatever you need a little bit of in your life. Hang it up where you'll see it, blowing in the wind, in a window, pin it to your refrigerator, pin it, you know what I mean. Get it where you can see it. Tape it to a mirror in your bedroom. Here's some of the beautiful summery prints. And these are called Forest Stroll by PrintscapeJourneys. Here's the first centerfold. There are 5 signatures. Each one is hand-tied in a 5-hole punch with DMC floss, and I've put little dangly, colorful, heavy paper tags on the ends that clatter. So this I call the Mad Queen as she strides through the winter fields. I have added little tiny bits of writing so you don't feel that you're the first one and you might make a mistake. It's okay to make a mistake. It's just part of the image, part of the decoration. The queen behaves madly. She strides forth through frozen fields. I have tried to add decorative edgings to several of the pages and keep the design so it'll flow across what's showing. Feel free to draw in these books, record recipes, take out any pages you don't like. Here's just a little collage I made of baubles in a tree. We're into the second signature. Bookmark has a little tree of life charm on it. More tags. I've taken whole image pages images that were just beautiful and just glued them right on down. More writing paper so you can write lists if you like. There are envelopes in these 2 journals. Mostly they have just scraps of writing paper. This is paper that feels like old wallpaper. And it's just tucked in a belly band. Here's a crow with the baubles that I used the thought for to make that previous collage. Or it's a raven. I think it's a raven because of all the feathers and its size. So why is a raven showing up in the fairy tale? I don't know. You'll have to tell me. Another little belly band. Got velvety tags. Here we have a crow in a summer tree at night. Tags tucked in. And here is a little notebook with some stone beads. Different kinds of paper. Put the notebook in your pocket, in your purse, carry it with you when you walk in the woods. Bring it back and tuck it in. This has a really pretty vintage button that looks like satiny. Flip any tag you like. They're just as pretty on the back sides as they are on the front. Right across any surface you like. In fact, with the journals that are sold, I will include a few writing instruments so that you can write on all the surfaces. What I've been entranced with lately are these beautiful triangular art pencils that just fit in your hand so well. And then I sought out a cream art pencil to write on the darker pages, and it doesn't smear. But I'll also include a ballpoint so that you can get started. In this pocket is a piece of vintage stationery with its envelope, so you can write a friend. And in this pocket are 2 folded sheets of printed copy paper. You write a lot, tuck them in the pockets, tuck your own paper in the pockets. Just wanted you to have more options. This flips open. I tried to get it so the designs would carry across and form their own collages when stacked. Ah, we've got something sticking through here. So, get your butt back in there. All right. This is, I actually taped this down while I was stitching the signatures in so it wouldn't move. This is onion skin paper, really thin, and I was able to print directly on it. Tags, and this is beading that I've done myself. Toho, check glass, colored DMC floss. A little bit of fussy cutting on this side. More tags. This is a fairy tale cottage in the woods, and it looked like it had a book here. So I added additional pages and made it a book. Here's again where I was holding it down while I stitched it in. I guess I should have checked before I started filming. I find washi tape, which is just fancy masking tape, does a really good job of holding small pages still while you're stitching them onto the signature. Decorative tabs, a hidden pool. Additional paper to do your own collaging. Look at this tea-dye pattern. Oh my gosh, don't you just want to play in that? Some sheets just turn out better than you can possibly imagine. And what am I sticking to here? Forgive me for not taking those out. And then, what am I stuck to here? Don't worry, guys. I will fix this. And that's the last page, and I'll just put a pretty piece of paper over that. But anyway, you get the idea that it's a ton of delightful pages in a beautiful fairy tale theme, tied with a super long ribbon. And so much potential. Anyway, I should have this up on my Etsy shop soon. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, or message me if you like. And I'll talk to you again soon.